From Springfield, Sports Channel presents the Illinois High School Association Boys Class A Baseball Championship. Hello, everybody, and welcome to soggy Lanphier Park here at Springfield. I'm Mike Lederman, along with Bill Zeman, coach at Roanoke Benson High School. I'm the defending Class A champion, but you're sitting this one out, right, Bill?
Yes, I know. I'll tell you what, I'd rather be on the field, but I guess this is a good second best.
Well, the spring of '96 has wreaked havoc with still another IHSA championship. The rains that have pummeled the state for a week or more have condensed the sectional. Some teams have played as many as 2 games on one day, just a couple of days before this, the final, and it is going to be a very, very tired couple of teams out there with Mendota as well as Dupo.
I think both teams are going to rely on offense right now. They're hoping to come out and score early and get as much as they can because they know the pitching staff's tired. Worked a lot of innings, threw a lot of pitches over the last week.
The quarterfinals held yesterday, no problem. Today, it rained buckets. The delays really pushed the game well into the evening. We are coming to you about 40 minutes late, which isn't too bad, but the teams, instead of playing in the morning with several hours rest, one team, Mendota, is going literally from the semifinal right into the final. So I guess it's the adrenaline bowl right here.
Yes, it is. Right now they have to rely on heart and guts and just trying to give it their best effort, knowing that this is the last game of the season. They have nothing to save it for.
The coaches said the kids weren't tired. The players themselves, well, some of them were too tired to even shrug when we asked them. But we'll bring you the starting lineups and the opening pitch in just a minute. There's a look at Lanphier Park, a wonderful place to play under normal conditions, which these are not, and yet the grounds crew has got this place in fine playing shape. Paul Wappel and the crew here have done it, and we'll tell you about the few problems there are on the field, mostly in foul territory. We're taking a look at the lineup for Dupo. Again, this team is near the St. Louis area. The Tigers will come with the junior Desjardins at shortstop. Chris Kimball will play first. Brian Cox, big hitter, had a grand slam earlier in the tournament. He will be at second base. Mark Berlew will be the pitcher. Nate Dollins, the catcher. Herderhorst, the third baseman. He is just a sophomore. Denny Pasha at right field. Brian Kreml in center, and the designated hitter, Justin Chisholm, the winning pitcher. And they will be facing Steve Wasmer, who won the last game. He won the semifinal, which concluded about half an hour ago. Wasmer just raised his record to 5-1 with that win, pitched 4 innings and slammed the door on Stewart's and Strasburg. And Desjardins bounces one shortstop. Eric Duke makes the play, 1 away.
Wasmer seems to be starting off where he led off the last game, 2 pitches, 2 strikes. I'm sure he's concerned with getting the fewest number of pitches he can.
Well, no question, stamina will be at a premium right here as we take a look at Chris Kimball, batting .326, 5 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Facing Wasmer, and gives him a little bit of a bend right there in for the strike. Plate umpire Dana Pearson from Checkett. Plate umpire Jack Hull from Jacksonville, who has been here before. Line drive over short. Luke Johnson, the left fielder, makes the pickup. And the first hit in this final game.
Wasmer appeared to get a fastball a little up in the strike zone, and Kimball seems prepared for it. From Wasmer, you can pretty much expect to see fastball, which is probably his go-to pitch. He also throws a curve, and he will throw a palm ball as his changeup.
Here's the man. Brian Cox has 6 runs batted in this tournament. 4 came on a grand slam in the quarterfinal. Brian Cox, probably the best defensive second baseman in the St. Louis area, according to his coach, Rich King. 3-year starter. And as a batter, he's only hitting .416.
Coach said he's their drive-in man.
Oh, and 2.
Wasmer staying in the strike zone. He hasn't thrown a ball yet.
Well, I guess we can't expect Wasmer to do anything fancy, nor should we. Somebody tell him you start a sophomore in the championship game, boy, you got to be very confident, or your staff's got to be pretty depleted, and I think it's a combination of both.
I think you're right.
0-2 to Brian Cox.
Big strikeout.
Wasmer showing no fear. The 400 hitter gets his first strikeout.
Well, for a sophomore to come out and be put under this type of pressure, pretty impressive. Here you can see a fastball up in the strike zone. Now, that's a good strikeout pitch. A lot of times people like to pitch low and away, but I personally like the high fastball myself.
Kimball back easily. Here is Mark Berlew, who is pitching tonight, also batting cleanup. So a little pressure on him as well. Berlew batting .374 on the season. 11 doubles, 2 triples, no homers, 27 runs batted in. Berlew, another junior. A lot of depth on this Dupo team. Several third-year and fourth-year starters, and several juniors as well as a sophomore in the lineup. Berlew, the 6-footer. Takes about a 59-footer in there from Wasmer.
Well, you have to figure they have a pretty nice combination. That they have the type of team that could have a couple strong years in a row, especially with the youth that they have. And again, this being a sophomore here.
Fastball low. 3-0. So Wasmer, who couldn't throw a ball before, has thrown 3 straight to his opposite number, Mark Berlew.
Confidence is going to be very important for him.
2 outs, runner on first, top of the first. And 4 straight balls. And a bit of a threat here for Dupo in the top of the first with 2 away. Wasmer will face the catcher, Nate Dollins. Take a look at the runners. Kimball on second, Berlew on first. Good study of Wasmer. Dollins, don't let that low average mislead you. He's gotten several key hits, and you see leads the team with 6 home runs. And there's a shot to left field. Back is Johnson.
Oh, he drops
And
it.
Luke can't hold it. 1 run is in. Over to third and into second goes Nate Dollins on the 2-base error by the normally dependable Luke Johnson. And it's a 2-0 game for Dupo.
That was a pretty deceiving play. As you can see, he hits the ball very hard. He's pretty much a pull hitter. Ball up in the strike. Well, no, I take that back. Ball dropped in late, and he went with it. Looked like it was in his glove, and the next thing you know, it's gone.
Looks like he had it all the way.
I thought so. From up here, I thought the pitch was up, but as you look down on the monitor, low and away. And again, must be a pull hitter to pull that type of pitch low and away.
So 1 run is home. And this one goes straight up behind second base. Coming in and hustling. And can't get it either as he slips is Jason Phelan. And oh my, 2 straight.
This is kind of
Difficult but
interesting.
not impossible outfield catches in a row by any stretch as Phelan took a huge divot as he went down.
I just wonder if they're having trouble picking up the ball off the bat.
That may be true too, because you saw Phelan really coming in. Never really was sure of that ball,
No.
and then took the big divot.
So you can see it. Overruns the ball. Actually comes in a little bit too far. It should be a pretty easy sky.
2 more runs come home. And it's a 3 unearned runs, and the ball gets away. And into third goes Herderhorst, who we never got a chance to tell you hit that ball to center field. Well, here is Denny Pasha. Pasha, a .309 hitter. And he has a chance to add a 4th run here, and all of them, of course, will be unearned. And this one is not going to be caught by anybody. Clean hit for Pasha. Coming in to score is Herdenhorst, and it's a 4-0 game on the single to center field by Denny Pasha.
Well, an interesting turn of events here. After 2 outs, man on first, all of a sudden a big 4 spot for Dupo, who throughout the year has been a decent hitting team, but they're putting the ball in play.
Well, Steve Wasmer deserves a better fate, certainly.
Yes, he does. Tell you what, Mike, it's very difficult when you give a team, especially in a state championship game, some extra outs, and that's basically what's happening here.
Number 8 hitter next, Brian Kreml. Kreml at 244. With a double and a triple. Runner on first base takes the ball. Kreml, 5'9", 170-pound junior center fielder, and there are his numbers. Runner going, and Peg is way in the dirt from Kofoid, and easily into second with a stolen base is Pasha.
Pasha had a nice jump on this, as you can see. As soon as the pitcher moved, he went on first move, and he was going hard. And as you said, the ball in the dirt is in there safely.
And it's 3-0. 2 out. Runner on second base is Pasha. 4 runs in here in the top of the first inning of the Class A championship. The Dupo Tigers on the prowl right away. And low again. So, second walk issued by Wasmer.
All of this is happening after 2 outs.
And really, none of this, or very little of it, is the fault of that young man right there. There's a look at the dugout. Not too many people can be in it because they were flooded. The dugouts were after the water was pushed off the skin of the infield. And here is Justin Chisholm. Chisholm, the designated hitter tonight, pitched and won the semifinal. Also got 2 doubles in that game. This one also gets away from Kofoid, down to third, and safe is Pasha, and Kreml goes into second.
It was a nice play by the third baseman, Falcon. He actually saved the run from scoring there. He stopped the ball with his chest, got in front of it. As you can see, the catcher releases the ball. Ball bounces about 4 feet in front. Nice job.
Falcon gave one for the club right there.
Yes, that's for sure. Saved the run, possibly, too, as slick as it is out there.
Second and third, 2-0 pitch again in the dirt.
I'd say Mr. Wasmer has lost his concentration a little bit now. I hope he can regroup. He's had a lot of bad events happen for him here.
Justin Chisholm with a 3-0 count. 9th man to come to bat in this inning. In the dirt again, and the third pass given up by Wasmer.
We'll see a timeout here to try to settle him down a little bit.
Base is loaded. You take a look there. You got Pasha on third, Kreml on second. Chisholm on first, talking to the first base coach, assistant coach Chris Wilkinson. Meanwhile, conference on the mound is Mendota tries to settle down to the young pitcher, and here is DeJarnette, the shortstop, started the inning off with a ground ball to short for the first out. Still low. Gets that one up, but it's outside. 2-0. Dupo so far has outscored its opponents by a tune of 26-3 in this 3-game tournament. Wasmer 2-0. Again in the dirt, 3-0.
He's really struggling right now with his mechanics, and I think he's a little frustrated. I'm sure Coach Bodine walked out and asked him to relax and just do the best he can.
Well, he really had some tough breaks. Consecutive errors in the outfield by the left and center fielder. Open the doors for this 4 spot. And this will force in the run. Pasha comes home with the 5th run of the inning. Everybody else moves up. As Rosmer gives up his 4th walk, and here comes Bodine. Phil Bodine, a former pitcher himself, played at UIC, and he's going to bring in Eric Duke, who had been scheduled to come in. Duke, top player on this team, and the shortstop normally. So Rosmer just goes 2/3 of an inning. Book isn't closed on him, and here is Eric Duke, and a very frustrated, unhappy, and victimized, if you will, young Steve Wasmer. Started out extremely hopefully. Got a ground out, a single, and then a strikeout, and then a walk, a big error by the left fielder Johnson, then an error by the center fielder. Next thing you knew, he was down 3-0. Another hit, a couple of walks.
It's a perfect illustration how things can snowball on you in this game of baseball.
So Wendelken, who started the final, will go to the semifinal, will go to short. Sports Channel's exclusive coverage of the Illinois High School Association Class AA Baseball Championship will take place Sunday, June 9th at 4 p.m. Be sure to join us for the Class A Baseball Finals next Sunday, exclusively on Sports Channel. You saw that rolling sky here in Springfield. They're hoping the rain is done for the evening. It rained just all day. Let's take a look at the numbers on Eric Duke. That 2-4 record. He pitched a lot more last year. In fact, was a leading pitcher, but had some arm problems, hasn't thrown that much. Big ERA, but is far and away the best athlete on this team.
Well, he needs to come in here and put out a fire.
And
he throws mid-80s, and that should be a little bit different from Wasmer. Maybe he can put things out here.
Well, fastball in there on the inside part of the plate. Strike 1 to Chris Kimball. Kimball single, came around to score. 5-0. Dupo, top of the 1st inning, leading Mendota Class A championship. Fouled away, and Kimball's behind 0-2.
Early in the game, you look at Wasmer, and you have to say he was working ahead of the hitters. Like we said earlier, I think his first 7 or 8 pitches were strikes. And here we're 0-2.
And this one gets away, and another run is going to come home. Everybody moves up. Gremmel comes in. Chisholm now moves over to 3rd. DeJarnette over to 2nd.
Low and away. I'm sure that was a waste pitch. Try to get him go fishing for something, and just a little bit too far out.
Eric Duke. There are your numbers. 6 runs on just 2 hits. In the dirt again, it gets by, but this time it kicks over to the 3rd base side.
Pitcher did a nice job blocking that pitch. Curveball, you never know where it's going to spin once it hits the dirt.
Chisholm really had no chance to score there. Rich King, his coach, held him up. There's a look at Steve Kofoid. He has had a long 1st inning. Don't forget, they've played all day waiting out the rain. This is an endurance contest. I wouldn't say this one's over by any stretch. Tough chance coming in. Nice play by the 3rd baseman, and the scoop beautifully done. Falcon over to Todd Doyle, and an outstanding play to get the Trojans out of the inning. But 6 runs, just 2 hits, a couple of errors, 2 left. At the end of the 1/2 inning, Dupo got the 1st set already at Love. Let's take a look at the Mendota lineup as you watch Mark Burlew warming up for the Tigers. Eric Duke will lead off, play short. Luke Johnson, the designated hitter, bat second. Terry Swope in right field. Jason Phelan in center field. Matt Wendelken now the shortstop. Dan Falcon has gone and has been at third base. Todd Doyle, the first baseman. Cole Floyd, the catcher, bats eighth. And Brian Faber at second base will bat ninth. Take a look at the numbers of Mark Burlew. Not too shabby. 4-0, an ERA that Greg Maddux would envy. That's for sure. 4 games, 21 innings, given up 10 hits, just a couple of earned runs, struck out 10, walked 9. And here is Eric Duke. You see by the graphic, he just got through setting a new state record in the quarterfinal and the semifinal. 7 straight hits, and he sends this one right out to Brian Kreml in center field. Kreml, can of corn. 1 up, 1 away, 1 pitch.
Duke got a little under that ball, but did hit the ball hard again. From Burlew, you can pretty much expect to see fastballs and changeups are pretty much his 2 go-to pitches, but he also has a little bit of a curveball, maybe more of a cut fastball.
Here's Luke Johnson.
Interesting here we see Burlew pitching from the stretch with nobody on base. Don't see that very often at high school level.
And Burlew is probably one of the few arms that's rested. He hasn't pitched in 10 days. I believe he last pitched in the regionals. Had a 5-inning cakewalk, 14-0 slaughter rule, or if you will, instant victory. What's the
instant victory?
Yeah.
I think the 10-run rule is what we like to hear as a coach.
That's right.
We don't like to hear that slaughter rule thing.
That's the euphemism, the 10-run rule. So either way, it was not a difficult time and an effective pitching performance for Mark Burlew. He is a junior, and as I say, that was 10 days ago, and much of the rest of both staffs have been going for the last 3 or 4 days.
He appears to work rather quickly. He gets the ball, he sets, and he throws.
Also got a good catcher back there, Nate Dollins. He will call just about every pitch, usually at this level, as you know. And this one sliced into right field, and it's in there for a base hit. Over quickly is Pasha, turning the corner and holding up with Luke Johnson on a single to right, going the opposite way. But at this level, usually you coaches call the pitches.
Well, we call many. We have to have a lot of confidence in our catchers, that's for sure. We don't want it to go to situation where they're unsure and the pitcher's unsure, so oftentimes you are making the call.
Have to be very careful out there. That ball is skidding all over the place, and a nice play by Pasha to keep it in front of him. And that's fouled back by Terry Swope, the number 3 hitter. Swope, 18-year-old senior and right fielder.
That's a good point about the field, that outfield. On days like this, when the field's in this condition, the ball has a tendency to skip rather than bounce, and oftentimes it fools the outfielders.
0-1 pitch, could be 2, but goes through into center field. Turning and holding at second base is Johnson as Swope gets the second straight hit for the Trojans. Hello. So Dupo throws up a big 6 spot at the top of the first. And here Mendota, this one just skids through Brian Cox.
Right up the middle. That's where a coach wants to see the ball go. Generally means you're pretty much on the pitcher.
Here is Jason Phelan. Phelan, the cleanup hitter and senior.
One thing Mendota can do is hit the ball. So a 6 spot may seem insurmountable to some, but they've put some big numbers on the board this year.
Actually, it doesn't mean much in the major leagues this season.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. Maybe they're using spiced up balls here too, huh?
2-0 pitch. And a good fastball. Mark Burlew, 2-1, and this one spanked to right field. Coming on quickly and making the catch. A throw back to first.
Oh my!
And they double him up. Pasha with an outstanding play and firing over to Chris Kimball to double off Terry Swope. So just like that, a 9-3 DP. And Mendota runs itself out of an inning. No runs, a couple of hits, one left, 6-0 after one. Here's the end of that last play. Pasha makes the play, throws to Kimball, the double off the runner, and just like that, a Mendota threat goes by the boards.
That often happens just when you think you have a little bit of something going, and then Cardinal rule, freeze on a line drive.
That's for sure. And working into the second inning now, Ryan Cox, the batter. And Duke outside, 2-1.
As a pitcher, Cox is the kind of guy you want to see leading off because you don't want to have him up with men on base.
And that caught the strike zone for Eric Duke, so count even at 2-2. And now a full count. Cox struck out swinging in his at-bat in the first inning. This one to center field, slicing over toward the right field line. Will anybody get it? No. Center fielder picks it up, throws it in, and Brian Cox, who didn't get a hit the first inning, now has himself a double here in the second.
He's on with a 3-2 fastball.
Well,
low and away.
For Dupo, the hits just keep on coming, and Brian Cox, a 400 hitter, and gets past Phelan, and
things
Cox,
are slick out there.
Cox probably would have had second base anyway, so it goes strictly as a hit. Hit number 3. And here is Burlew. Nobody out. Cox at second base. And we got him right on the helmet.
High and tight.
And plate umpire Jack Hull is probably asking Burlew how many fingers he's holding up. Obviously not intentional. And now Rich King is going to talk to him and just ask him some of the questions. You can see Burlew is smiling.
You can see a fastball up and in. He tried to duck out of it, but couldn't get out of the way. There again. That's a good job by the hitter. We would teach a hitter to turn away from the pitch so that exactly happens. You want to bend over, turn away from the pitch, so if the ball hits you, you're going to get it a glancing blow rather than right on.
Over at second, and here is Nate Dollins, who started the big inning really for Dupo with what looked like a fly ball that should have been handled in left field, but Luke Johnson dropped it for a two-base error. Followed up by Phelan's error in the outfield, and next thing you know, it was a 4-0 game turned into a 6-0 game, and that's where we are right now, top of the second inning.
Doesn't take long.
Dana Pearson, the first base umpire, exchanging some pleasantries with Burlew. How did it feel? Did it hurt? Could have been worse.
Could you get out of the way?
All right, now we're all set. Nobody out, 2 men on. Duke to Dollins. Good fastball swung on a miss, strike 1.
Dollins went after that one, everything he had.
Sneaking in behind the runner, and they put the pickoff on. Nothing doing as shortstop went in there. One and one.
Right now, Duke's coming consistently high and inside.
Well, it's a tough spot for Duke, too. But he just hasn't pitched that much.
Right.
They needed him. And took a little something off as the runner goes down to third base, and the ball is dropped, and the runner slid in safely anyway as Cox gets the stolen base, and following him into second is Burlew. So the double steal works. very aggressive by Rich King. I mean, there's not going to be any kind of, well, let's let up on them.
No.
Not the way either one of these teams play. So the 1-2 pitch. Foul tip into the glove, held by Kofoid. And one away. First strikeout for Duke.
Big strikeout for Duke, especially with men in second and third. Again, the high fastball.
Well, the infield up on the skin at the corners on the grass. You see they're playing halfway at second and short. And popping this one up is Herder Horse. Foul territory. Falcon. Nice play.
It was a nice play. Good amount of foul territory here.
And that's where it is very sloppy.
Yes.
All the water was pushed off the end. You can see the puddles, and Falcon fighting the footing as well as the lights and the cloudy sky, and makes the play. So 2 outs. Denny Pasha. And there's another good fastball from Duke.
Duke might be getting in his groove a little bit here now.
Pasha, an RBI single in the first inning. 6-0. Dupo at bat, leading Mendota. Class A title game. Another one high and tight. Well, if nothing else, you know, Dupo's going to be a little bit less likely to take a foothold and a toehold at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And again, 2-1 the count.
Well, it's oftentimes hard, you know. You want a fresh arm, but you don't want it too fresh. And if you haven't pitched in a while, it's tough coming in, especially in a game of this magnitude.
3-1 now. The 3-1 pitch. Foul down the right field line. Count is full on Pasha, 3-2. Pasha 1 home run, 12 runs batted in coming into tonight. And again, he spoils it.
He's doing a nice job of hanging in there, taking the pitches. You get 2 strikes on you, 2 outs, people in scoring position. You don't want to see your hitter take a 3rd strike. So anything, all of a sudden the plate gets about 3 inches bigger all the way around.
And this one into right field. It's going to drop. Both runners come home. Here comes Berlew overrunning the ball. Is Swope.
Now that was a nice at bat.
2-run single for Denny Pasha as he protected the plate and got a pitch he could handle.
I think you're going to see a pitch here that's probably out of the strike zone on the outside part of the plate, beyond the outside part of the plate, but he was aggressive at it and got the RBIs.
Falls well inside the line. Swope comes over. There's Cox scoring behind him. Berlew will score. And it is 8-0 for Dupo. And here is Brian Kreml, who walked in the first inning. Part of that 6-run bunch. This one with 2 outs, looking for the base hit. What kind of a play is that?
An interesting one.
You're up 8 runs. You got a runner on first base. You got 2 outs. Well, we've seen just about everything else so far today.
Yes, we have. They did that in the earlier game today in a similar situation with 2 outs.
0-2 now with 2 out to Kreml. Chisholm on deck. Pasha leading off. 0-2 pitch. There goes Pasha down. Here's the throw, and on the third base side of second base, and that enabled Denny Pasha to come in with another stolen base.
I'll tell you what, he is a excellent base runner. He gets great jumps. I mean, that was a good pitch for the catcher to handle. He was up in the strike zone. He was actually standing up when he received the ball. Pasha still made it fairly easily.
1-2 pitch. And that's it. So, Dupo comes up with another couple of runs, 2 hits, 1 left, and to 1.5. It's been all Tigers. 8-0 Dupo. Bottom half of the second inning, Mendota trying to get on the board. Will send up Matt Wendelken. Wendelken has come into play shortstop. Started out in left field. And Verlew is into his second inning of work. Gave up 2 hits in the first inning, but some sharp fielding on the line drive into the double play got him out without any damage.
Right now, the mindset that Verlew has to have is just keep people off the bases.
3-1.
You can't be concerned about singles and things like that. Throw strikes and let your defense make the plays.
Center field. Kreml. Oh, nice catch. You know, Kreml took his time with that. The ball is not getting the kind of depth that one might think. Maybe the heavy air or the backspin, whatever, but he made the play.
He hits the ball hard. He's on the screws, and he actually got a slower jump on it. I'm not so certain they're not having a difficult time seeing the ball come off the bat.
Yeah.
All outfielders seem to be having problems.
Here's Dan Falcon. Falcon up for his first time. Takes the strike. Yeah, it's always a problem, of course, as dusk sets, and Falcon jacks this one foul down the left field line toward the bullpen. Crowd really held down by the bad weather. This is probably the most pleasant way we know to spend a normal evening. Just watching the last year, Bill, when your team was in it, it was a perfect night. And of course, it was a perfect night for you too, as well as weather.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was something I'll never forget. For the first time in the history of the town, I think everybody closed down shop, and they were all here that night.
You were probably bigger than Michael Jordan for one night only. Right?
Yeah. I was called the mayor for about a week.
Until somebody asked you to take care of a parking ticket.
That's right. That's
you've
right.
had it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bottom of the second inning. Mendota trying to get a run across here in the crossfire. You watch Verlew, he's somewhere between sidearm and 3/4, but he gets way out there by third base on his delivery. There he comes, crossfire, and fired into right field. And what a play. Another play by Denny Pasha.
This boy is having a great game tonight.
Pasha with an outstanding effort. Here we go, slicing. This one had base hit.
Yes, it did. Low and away, and he goes with the pitch and hits it right on the nose. And that's a tougher play than you think, because it's a right-handed hitter, and oftentimes the ball bananas away from you.
Bananas, I like it. Here's Doyle. And Todd Doyle, strike 1. Doyle, a senior.
I think the thing that makes Verlew deceiving is the fact that he drops his elbow a little bit, and if you actually watch, his elbow is actually lower than his shoulder, and it gives it a little bit of an odd release.
Hanging with it. Kimball over to the pitcher covering, and 1, 2, 3. Nothing across for Mendota after 2. 8-0 Dupo. Well, a look at the scene here in Springfield. Look at the factory, a look at the atmosphere. It's really, I can't emphasize what a nice setting this is. And people here now are very comfortable. The rain is staying away, it seems. There are some clouds gathering, but we hope that'll be the end of it. Temperature is very mild, probably upper 60s.
3 hours ago, I wouldn't have given this a chance.
Absolutely. It was absolutely teeming. Here is Justin Chisholm, winning pitcher in the semifinal, we told you. Drew one of the 4 walks in the first inning when Dupo scored 6 times. And that went inside from Eric Duke. Steve Wasmer, the starter, victimized by 2 big errors, lasted only 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 walks, 2 hits. As this one sliced down the right field line, and it is a fair ball. Chisholm is going to have his 3rd double today. And this is a young man who is hitting under 180 coming into the tournament.
This ball was inside the lines by no more than a foot for sure.
Well, there's a good example. They talk about Chisholm. He uppercuts the ball. You can only hit it in certain areas. That's a beautiful shot that our camera's got. You can see he moves that swing, but the pitch was just there. Here's Josh Desjardins. 0 for 1 and a walk. The shortstop. Desjardins, 6-footer, 155 pounds. A junior. He started all 3 seasons.
Starting the 3rd inning here, and they're starting the 3rd time through the lineup.
This hit, here's another one sliced, and Swope has got to get on his horse for this one. It is a fair ball going to the wall. Coming around 3rd, and he will score as Chisholm. The throw into 3rd, not in time.
I'll tell you what, right now, I think I'd move everybody to right field.
Well, they're certainly not pulling the ball, but they don't have to.
No, they don't. They're going with the pitch very well.
3rd triple of the season for Josh Desjardins.
Again,
Swope is having a long day out there.
Long swing by Desjardins.
Oh, almost
nice diving attempt, but just shy.
So we're at 9-0, and again the 10-run rule. You see Chisholm scoring the 9th run. And here's Chris Kimball, his 3rd at-bat. Kimball 1 for 2, scored a run. Nobody out, 1-0 pitch. Duke missing outside again. 31st run in the tournament scored by Dupo in the 3 games. Got to see if those IHSA balls are jackrabbits. Is that
we better check into that. We better check that. I know they didn't jump like that for us last year.
2 hits in each of the 3 innings. Jay had a little tougher time.
Oh.
Foul tipped into the glove of Kofoid. 3-1, nobody out. Runner on 3rd is the shortstop Desjardins. 1 run is in. 9-0 Dupo. Duke, when he gets that fastball going, they're not catching up with him, and you can see when they are getting it, they're not pulling it. 3-2 pitch.
Eric's in a tough spot here. You know, it's tough to come in a position where you fall behind 6-0, and then things aren't really going your way. You have to give him credit that, I mean, he's actually going after the hitters and doing his best, and that's to his credit.
That's his first walk. He's also hit a batter. And here is Brian Cox, and Cox doubled to center his last time up. He's 1 for 2. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. There goes the runner heading for 3rd, and they throw down with the play on. Basically, the shortstop cutting in front to keep the runner from scoring from 3rd.
That's a planned play, just primarily to try to, if possible, draw the runner off 3rd. Hopefully, when he sees it goes past the pitcher, he takes off. But of course, they didn't.
Stayed at home. 0-2. That pitch caught a part of the strike zone. Jack Hull, very emphatic with his call. 2nd and 3rd now. This will bring in a run. And going over to 3rd base as well is Kimball on the fielder's choice. So Cox gets a run batted in.
A high chopping ball in the infield, that's surely going to score your run. As a coach, you're telling your runner, once you see the ball have some height on the bounce, you're going on in.
And that is the 10th run. 10-0 Dupo. Ball up high to Mark Berlew. Berlew was hit on the helmet last time up. And there is his championship stat line so far. Second base Faber. And run number 11 comes across. On the bounce out.
Again, you see another high chopping ball to the second baseman. Run scores easily.
So it's 11-0. Dupo. Steve Dollins steps in for his third at bat. 0 for 2. Safe on an error and struck out. Dollins has 6 home runs, a couple of doubles as well. Doesn't hit for average. And that one's up high, 1-1. Mike Lederman, Bill Zeman, our Sports Channel crew, led by producer-director Tim Sutton. Ron Yoakum, our statistician, all happy to be with you. The boys Class A baseball tournament. We want to thank the IHSA before we get any further. And Don Robinson, Jim Flynn, they did everything but push the water off the field getting this tournament going.
A lot of credit has to go to those gentlemen. They put on a class act and they do it the right way.
Well, maybe they'll rent Sky Dome one year. I don't know what else you can do.
I want to work that game, okay?
3-2. I mentioned Paul Wapple and the grounds crew. This field took a lot of water. They had the tarp on it. 3-2 pitch.
I think they put a day's worth of work just taking the tarp on and off today.
That's out of play. You know, people think it's like the major leagues all over. Well, it isn't.
No, it's not.
A lot harder.
Yes.
Again, the 3-2 pitch, and this one into the gap in right center. Coming over, and no one's going to get this one. Easy, a stand-up double for Dollins.
Again, Dupo shows its hitting strength. They do a very nice job of waiting on the pitch. If it's on the outside half of the plate, they go that direction with it. Here you see the head down, good turn of the hips, puts the ball deep to right center. Now, this is a big ballpark, and a lot of high school ballparks that have been out of here by a long way.
And Dollins goes in. Here is the sophomore third baseman, Herdenhorst, who had, as we said, a rough time in the field in the semifinal, but it didn't hurt his team too badly. You could see that here in the final, and his ball in the first inning dropped for an error that brought the first runs home.
Herdenhorst didn't start the year out at third base. He's a sophomore. They brought him up and again put into action.
Back to the backstop, excuse me, Bill, and over the third is Dollins. Another wild pitch.
At the varsity level, being put into the hot corner over there as a sophomore, that's a tall order.
I think they feel he's got a future as a pitcher. He's got a terrific arm. And again, they've got a couple of years to work with him.
Yes. And you don't see many left-handed hitting third basemen.
2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. And Herdenhorst gets himself a walk. 2 outs. Runners now on first and third. And here is Denny Pasha, who's not only 2 for 2, but he's made 2 outstanding plays in right field.
Well, we're at first and third again. It'll be interesting to see. I imagine we're going to run somewhere in this.
Well, they've done it each time. The take over the third base by Duke. The old Jack McDowell play where you wheel back and catch the runner on first napping, but not happening here. Over to first base. That was close on the pickoff play to Doyle.
Rick Sutcliffe is another one who used to use that move very consistently.
Hide the ball in his beard. Herdenhorst at first, and they go back at him again. You know, we've seen a couple of pickoffs, Bill, you know, a couple of the way the ball is and everything else that's gone goofy for Mendota. We've seen several pickoffs this day in the earlier games, yes, toward the right field bleachers.
Duke has 2 outs here. He might do well to put his thoughts towards the hitter here.
Runners hold.
Seeing right there the psychological advantage of having people on base and things going, and all of a sudden the pitcher starts worrying about the runners more than the hitters. And
1-1. Dupo, very aggressive hitting team, a very aggressive running team. Rich King was talking to us before the game, and he said he really wants to see his guys motor. He wants to see them take the ball and swing first pitch if they can.
They are very aggressive hitters. They don't get very deep in the count. That's
see his signal to the coach over at first base. Herdenhorst may be going now. No, he does not. And the pitch again is high. Two balls, a strike, 2 outs, 3 runs in, 11-0 Dupo. We're in the top of the 3rd inning.
Duke has a pretty quick move over first.
Oh, Duke's got a terrific arm.
He does.
You could see it.
Yes, he does.
Too bad for Mendota. They've got to pitch him now. There he goes. And this one is popped up. Foul territory, close to the stands. And Falcon can't get this one. And they call no play. They don't give him an error.
That ball was up there.
You can see he's a little bit unsure.
I imagine he gets over into that spongy ground. He gets a little nervous, too.
We were standing there for the open, and you can feel it. Back it comes to first base. And again, Herdenhorst is getting his uniform truly laundered, probably tonight.
I think so.
Yeah. We have had some epic weather, both in the fall and in the spring. Bill, I don't know if you remember the Naperville North, Naperville Central football game that was played in an absolute typhoon. Both teams' uniforms looked the same in the first quarter. Tennis last week. There goes the runner again, and this one into the gap in left center. No one is going to get this one. Will they?
Oh,
yes,
he did get it. What a tremendous catch
by the new left fielder, Jesse Argis. Oh, my, that's as good a play as you'll ever want to see.
You watch this ball, it was smoke. This is a heck of a catch. When that left the bat, I never thought he could get to that ball.
Well, maybe it's the kind of spark that Mendota needs. 3 runs, 2 hits, a runner left on at the end of 2.5 innings. That's it. All Dupo. Home half of the 3rd in Mendota, which has received a spark defensively, has got to get going now. Steve Kofoid will lead off against the pitcher, Mark Berlew. Berlew's given up a couple of hits in the first inning. Set him up 1, 2, 3, and set him down in the second. Just trying to throw some strikes.
Exactly right. I'm sure Coach King expressed to him, I want you to get out there and go at the hitters and stay in the strike zone.
Those crossfires are just coming in. You know, he's throwing high strike, too.
Yes, he is.
Kofoid takes that one in the dirt. Wouldn't take a bite. It's 2-2. And that one's into the gap into right center. And Kofoid, who doesn't run particularly well, turns and holds as the ball comes back. Good solid single for Steve Kofoid. Well, he is built compactly, and that's a compact swing right there.
Dropped his hands and put the ball into the right center gap.
3rd hit given up by Berlew, and here is the second baseman, Brian Favors. You look at Kofoid at first. Favors, numbers, 1 home run, you see. 0-1. And a strike. Leadoff batter Eric Duke on deck. Good production from the number 9 hitter in the tournament. 3 for 5 so far. And 1-2 the count as Berlew is working quickly.
Yes, he is.
And they call a balk on Burlew. Maybe he was working too quickly, didn't come set.
I'm assuming that's what the call was.
Down to second base goes Kofoid. Nobody out. Crossfire, and he gets it. Oh. First strikeout for Mark Burlew.
When you throw from that angle, oftentimes it appears like the ball hangs a little higher, longer.
And here's the leadoff man, Duke. Sends this one into medium left center and calling for it the center fielder, Kremen. And Brian Kremel holds the runner back at second base. I don't think Duke, he had the pitch he wanted, but he just missed that one. He sent one. Well, he sent one over the scoreboard, didn't he?
Let's see. Was that Duke earlier today?
Earlier today.
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. And that's right over the center of the scoreboard, and that's, you figure that's a what? Probably
well, it's 375 to the power alleys, 320 down the line. So yeah, 350 plus you got to get it over.
And over the top.
Yeah, that's about a 20-foot high board.
Yes.
So more than that.
That was a shot. When it left the bat, you just knew it was out of here.
And that, of course, was in the semifinal. Here's Luke Johnson. Johnson with a single sends this one back our way. And somebody,
you'd have had that, Mike.
I sure would. Good thing they didn't send it this way, though.
That's right. Well, I don't want to knock over your drink or anything. Water.
Just water. Two away. And the crossfire is high, and a 2-2 count.
The catcher called for that pitch up. I think they were going for the strikeout there. Seems like whenever Mendota gets a little bit of a offensive thing going, they don't produce afterwards. The leadoff hitter got on here, got over to second base, and
the ball gets by. On ball 4, and taking third is Kofoid. So a wild pitch and a balk. We've had a little ugliness defensively from Dupo this half inning.
Tell you what, that's the beauty of high school ball.
You can find a silver lining in anything, even this weather.
That's right.
Here is Terry Swope, who would like nothing better to put a little light in his day, and he does it. Again, going the opposite way, and they've been doing that to him all evening. And they first and third. Here's the play into third base deep. And Kofoid scores the first run for Mendota.
There you see another ball hit hard to the right side of the field. Good aggressive base running by the gentleman on first. He went all the way to third.
Luke Johnson taking third, Swope at first. And here's Jason Phelan, who hit that line drive to Pasha that turned into a 9-3 double play outside ball 1. Two on, two out. 11-1. This one goes to right field, but plenty of time for Pasha. And that will do it for Mendota this half inning. But they break through. They get a run. They get a couple of hits. They get a walk. 2 left. So after 3, it's 11-1 Dupo. Bottom of the order to face Eric Duke here in the top of the 4th. Brian Kremel tries the bunt, strike 1. Justin Chisholm on deck, followed by the leadoff man, Josh DeJarnette. 11-1 Dupo, and the Tigers have scored in every inning, and here they are trying in the 4th. Kremel a walk and a strikeout so far for his evening. He scored a run tonight. And Duke goes inside. You can see the batters a little wary of Duke coming straight overhand and heading for the helmet. That's a good fastball that Duke has shown us.
He can throw the ball very hard.
Rich King, fourth-year coach at Dupo. He was from Cahokia nearby and swung on, lost the bat, lost the ball, and he's out of there.
Again, a ball high in the strike zone. You see it up in the strike zone. I'll tell you what. You see that's at eye level.
Those wrists must hurt.
They must.
Third strikeout for Duke.
As a hitter, you see that ball coming in up there. I'll tell you what, it looks like a softball coming in when it's at eye level. It's almost too good to pass up.
Here's Justin Chisholm, a double his last time up.
There again, Duke's working high in the zone, and they're offering.
Now, Rich King is telling us about Chisholm. He swings one way. He swings, he uppercuts it, and if the ball's in one spot, he's going to hit it. And that's what he did last time.
Yes.
And
earlier today, that's right.
3 doubles.
Hit a ball very well to left center that first hit early today.
1-1 pitch is up high. Chisholm coming in batting 174. And he's turned into cheap thundercloud. They did it again, but this one goes straight up. One away. And here's Josh DeJarnette.
Duke is again consistently high in the strike zone. They're going after. He's got 2 outs here. Seems to be feeling a little bit better right now. There's a good pitch.
DeJarnette going for the ball in the dirt. He had sliced one to right field for the triple last time. That came around to score. 11-1. These Tigers from Dupo are leading. 2 outs. And a 1-1 count. And catching the outside corner is Eric Duke.
Very tough pitch to hit.
Duke working rapidly as well. 1-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt on strike 3, so the play to first base, and a 1-2-3 inning for Mendota. First one they've had. Nothing across. Will go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 11-1. Matt Wendelken leads it off for Mendota here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wendelken coming into play short when Duke came to pitch. One ball, 1 strike to count. And this one coming back here. 1-2.
They get to keep the balls here.
Yeah, Wilson donates them,
Yes,
right?
they do. That's a nice deal for the young kids here at the ball game.
Up high, 2-2. I remember when in the years before those donations were made, boy,
they chased him down. You couldn't.
Now you're going to watch here as the runner's going to take second base as Nate Dollins pulled a brain cramp right there on ball 4. He let the ball go to the backstop, and he asked the umpire, Jack Hull, for a ball, and Hull started to go into his pocket.
I was kind of confused. That's why I stopped talking.
And then you know something, son? Just started looking at him. That ball's live.
Here you see ball 4 getting away from the catcher.
All right.
But that's a nice play if you can pull that off.
See Dollins?
Could I have that ball, please? And then throw the guy out at second.
And his teammates telling him, Burlew says, come on, go get it. So
pretty creative.
So a walk. And I believe the scoring, isn't it? An error on the catcher?
Should be.
But they haven't put it up. So we'll give it to him. And again, the ball gets away, and now the pitcher is hesitant before he starts to cover home plate. Wild pitch.
You look at 11-1 game, you might say, well, that's not a big run, but I'll tell you what it is, because you're talking about the 10-run rule situation here. This will give them, you know, a couple more at bats.
And now here's Rich King coming out to say to everybody, hey, guys, you know, I know you're tired. I know you played a lot. I know you got a 10-run lead, but.
Right. This is the state champion.
And Rich is telling him that in very few words. I'm glad I don't have a microphone in that.
That would be a
conference there. Rich
good
is,
keep
you
away
can
from
see,
his coaches.
Better keep that hat on to keep the steam from blowing it off.
Right.
So here you got a runner on third base, nobody out. 2-ball, no strike count. And again, the crossfire that Berlew is getting closer and closer to disaster with.
Mechanically, he's way ahead of himself here. His arm is ahead of his body, and as long as he does that, he's going to consistently throw the ball low and away. Needs to raise his knee a little higher, give himself notice. The guy on third, you know, he has time. He can raise the knee and catch the arm up to the body.
Inside ball 4.
Inside ball 4.
So now first and third without benefit of a base hit for Mendota. And here is Doyle, who grounded to first base, out pitcher covering his first at bat, and this one's going to get in there for a base hit. 1 run will score. Going into third is Falcon, and Mendota's got something going here. They play first and third, nobody out. They've got a run.
Again, a left-hand hitter, opposite field hit, line drive to left center. Looks like we're going to have a change.
Now Rich King comes out. Berlew will come out. And let's see who Rich is going to bring in. Sorts of changes going on right now, and we'll see who the next pitcher is going to be. Maybe Kimball. Kimball's going to come in over from first base, and he will come in to pitch, and Kimball is their top pitcher. Take a look at what happened last up. So Rich King not wasting any time here, and he's going to make that change.
I can't see a number here. Who we have?
I believe it's Kimball, number 25.
Okay.
And Chris Kimball, converted third baseman. And we're going to see him come in, and he will be facing the catcher Kofoid. Kimball, during the regular season, 7-5, 3.36 ERA. Pitched 58 and a third, gave up 49 hits, 43 earned runs, struck out 85, walked 41, so he is a power pitcher.
2 strikeouts to every walk.
So to reset for you right now, Dupo coming out with a 6-run first inning on only 2 hits. They added 2 in the second, 3 in the third, total of 11. Mendota with a run in the third, a run here in the fourth. 11-2 is the situation. Now, just to reset, both teams have been plagued by weather delays. Mendota played the semifinal, then turned around, and they're right here in the final because of all the rain. So here is Kofoid, the catcher, the first person to face Chris Kimball. Fouled away.
Well, we're in a situation here that you have men on first and third and nobody out, scoring position. This could turn out to be the type of inning Mendota needs.
Falcon on third, Doyle on first. 0-1 pitch.
I don't think Kimball agreed with that pitch call.
The 1-1. No doubt about that one.
Nope.
Kimball can go 5 more innings. That's the amount allotted. He can only pitch a certain number of innings a day. Fastest pitcher on the team. He's got a knuckler for a change, and I think you may have seen it there. Been having arm problems this year. I guess he had injured a triceps muscle, missed 7 games during the regular season, but he had a 12 strikeout game, so you can see he'll bring the heat. 2-2. Straight over top, and it's low. And he got him on the changeup. Oh, what a pitch.
You see Kimball setting up, and again a ball high in the strike zone. As I said to you earlier, as a high school coach, I like that pitch used as a strikeout pitch. It's hard to resist, and oftentimes if they drop their hands, it's hard to get up and on top of it and hit the ball.
Swinging a foul back for Brian Faber, strikeout victim against Burlew his first time up. Burlew going 3+, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. He's responsible for the 2 runners on base. Well, this is quite a different look from Burlew, where Kimball comes straight over top and hard.
Yes, he does. Definitely over the top.
2-1. There's a look at the runners. Doyle on first. Ball gets away, and another run is going to come in. As Falcon scores, Doyle the second. And Dupo is doing a little bit of self-destruction here.
I can't tell if Dollins was fooled on the pitch. He didn't seem to shift out, almost like he was expecting the ball to come and watch it as it goes out.
Whoa.
He should shift. I don't know if he was thinking that the ball was going to break and then didn't go out for it, or what situation.
And you can't see it back there, but right by the backstop, that's where all the water is puddled, so it's a real lake out there. If you're going to pick up that ball and throw it, you better get a good grip. This one's fouled back behind.
Teaching point there, you know, when you're a catcher and you've got a runner in scoring position, you've got to shift to where the ball is. You can't try to frame it and show it to the umpire, because if it gets by you, it's a run.
Well, Kimball loses him. Walks the number 9 hitter. Now Kimball pitched a 5-inning complete game in the quarterfinal, knocking off Ileana Christian 11-0. Gave up no runs on just a couple of hits. Walked 5, though, and struck out 4. So the walks have been a problem for Dupo.
I talked with Coach King about that earlier, and he said that's one of his concerns, is the number of walks that his pitching staff gives per game.
Went out first and second, and line foul. And
look at the water fly. The rooster tail out there.
Duke just, yeah, you can see. Their territory is in remarkable shape. We know it's slick, but take a look Degree of difficulty
Look at that.
2.7, and we're going to see that in the, oh, look at that. Yep.
We used to skip stones on water like that when
That's
we were
right.
kids.
That's right. Duke's got a fly and a pop-up to center field in his 2 at-bats.
I wonder if Kimball wanted that ball back, you think? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, he can load that one up. Look at this. You know, Duke, as we told you, put one over the scoreboard, 7 straight hits. He's gone 0 for 4 since. And this one kicks back. There go the runners, and nobody is going to get caught here.
Till the base runners were schooled well there. As soon as they saw that ball get away from the catcher, they had their secondary lead. They were out on the front leg, and both got a good jump. No chance at all for Dollins to throw him out, even though the ball was in front.
So second and third now just 1 away, and it's 11-3. And Duke can pick up a couple of nice RBIs here and make this game interesting.
One of the problems with a straight over-the-top type pitcher is the fact that oftentimes the ball does get low.
And this one's coming back. Dollins in the middle of the muck and mire, and he makes the play. Well, you talk about why Dollins is a leader on this team. He has had a rough 4th inning. That was not an easy play. We told you all the mess that's back there, plus the lights, plus the rain. And he made the play.
If anybody's ever tried to catch a ball like that with a catcher's glove, that is not an easy play.
Luke Johnson now with 2 outs.
That's a big out with runners in scoring position. 1 out at the time.
2-0. Doyle on third. Faber on second. 2 out, 2-0 pitch from Chris Kimball. Right there.
Kimball's throwing the ball hard. He appears to have a pretty heavy fastball. What I mean by that is when the ball's coming in, when you swing it, it almost stops the bat. As you can see, that was kind of a slow swing a slow follow through from the hitter after he made contact.
2-2 is fouled back, right side.
The ball doesn't seem to move a whole lot.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 in, 2 out. Again. This one further down the right field line. Might be setting him up here for an off-speed pitch, but the way Kimball's throwing, he's just bringing the heat. There's up high, ball 3.
He's in a little bit of a predicament here. He's got the number 4 hitter coming up next.
3-2 to Johnson. Boy, Johnson's staying alive. Well, I talked about that play by Argis in left field, getting Mendota a little bit inspired. Well, they've come back to score 3 runs since then. They're still down by 8. 3-2 pitch. Gave him the off speed, but missed the corner. So bases are loaded. And here is Terry Swope, who is 2 for 2. Singles to center and right. A tough day defensively for him and right. He can atone offensively here. Good cut, good pitch, good heat.
Well, 3, 4, and 5 are your big hitters, and if Mendota can get something going here.
Quickly, it's 0-2. Swope's numbers on the tournament: 444 average, 2 runs batted in. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Well, laid off it. Swope, 389, takes the off-speed pitch. Tough play for the shortstop. He goes the short way and gets him. DeJarnette to Cox. So that ends the threat. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, bases left loaded. Score at the end of 4. It's still Dupo, 11-3. Well, there's some of the crowd, if you will. Everybody's a little bit wet, but everybody seems to be enjoying this. Bill, you brought the family down, right?
Yes, I did. We have a very much a baseball family, and they like to travel. And
your lovely wife, Melinda, who is dog sitting for my dog, Sparky, as well as the girls. Yes, Sparky. John Steinbeck and I travel with our dog.
Well, you know, it's not a bad deal.
Not a
protection at night.
Yeah.
Somebody to talk to.
Oh, my gosh. Here's Chris Kimball. 11-3, Dupo the lead. They're at bat. They get a couple of runs here, and it'll be the 10-run rule if Mendota doesn't come up with 2 in the bottom of the inning.
I want to know, does Sparky ride in the front seat?
Oh, absolutely.
Not in that cage.
I don't want to tell you. Definitely belts up, too.
Does he belt?
Yeah, almost took a little bite out of Tim Sutton, our producer today.
Oh, is that
Tried to
right?
get too friendly. You know, she's very picky with her friends. Kimball, a walk and a base hit. He's 1 for 1, 3 for 8 in the tournament. A little off-speed pitch from Duke, and it breaks a little bit low. He's Bill Zeman. I'm Mike Lederman. We hope you're enjoying this Boys Class A Championship. Fastball right back here on the fly and over the stadium. Eric Duke came on in the first inning. Wasmer started. Sophomore pitched well enough, but victimized by his fielders. Duke has come in and pitched ever since. And there's a caught looking right there.
It was a good breaking ball by Duke. I think
Hitter doesn't like it, but boy, he was fooled. Duke, strikeout number 4.
There it is, breaking ball.
Ooh.
Right over the plate.
Nasty.
Too good to take it 2 strikes. Well, we know he didn't agree with it, but
sit down, grab some bench.
that's right.
Here's Brian Cox. Well, if you're going to throw that one, that's the time. Nobody on base. Cox.
I think he's smiling. I don't know where that went.
1 for 3, a double. Grounded out last time up. Cox is a senior, and Rich King, a big fan of his. He doesn't have a college commitment yet, and King thinks he can help some school and really do well. Inside, 2-1.
He certainly praises his play at second base.
Yeah, Dupo, of course, is in the St. Louis area, and he thinks he's the best at his position in that territory. I know it's tough coming from a small school to get any kind of attention.
Yes, it is. Oftentimes that is the case.
Should have been there last night and watched Cox hit one out with the runners, 3 runners on. This one fouled back into the seats. He stays alive, 3-2. Yeah, the odds of getting a baseball are good tonight. Maybe you ought to invite Charlie Sheen out. Charlie, if you remember, bought a whole section out there at
So
the Big A in Anaheim. Yeah, so he could get a ball in left field and came up empty.
I think it would have been more cost effective just by a ball.
You have to understand it's the challenge.
I guess that would challenge of buying a whole section. That's pretty good.
Payoff. This one's going into center field. Phelan is there, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Jason Phelan.
Another diving catch on the wet ground. Fading away. Gets in there. Nice play.
And gets style points for the dive as well. Boy, Phelan had a tough time there early. And I was going to say how the rain is, but I'm sure it's not that soft. Nice catch, and Phelan took a ding on his shoulder. Here's Burlew. Pitch miss.
You know, you almost have to feel for Mendota. They were put in a situation where 30 minutes, 40 minutes after the end of a tough semifinal game, they have to come in and get psyched for a championship game,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that that had an effect.
Yeah, this whole tournament has really been twisted out of whack, and it's a credit to everybody. Of course, there's nothing you can do about it.
No, that's right. You have to be out there and doing it, but they didn't get the chance to sit and think about their next opponent and talk things over,
or even get a rest.
That's right.
Change uniforms, go shower.
And then they had a 2-hour plus rain delay.
This one's straight up. Kimball calls. 1, 2, 3. So that's 7 in a row. Retired by Duke. 11-3. Mendota getting its troops together, trying to mount a rally. We'll be back. Welcome back to Springfield. 11-3, that's the story. Dupo in the St. Louis area leading Mendota. It is a wet night. It is a muddy night. You see Kimball, the pitcher, trying to get the mud out of his cleats, and there's an awful lot of that. Came on in relief of Mark Verlew last inning. Mendota doing the scoring the last couple of innings. They've scored 3 times, but still they're 8 runs down here, bottom of the 5th. Jason Phelan 0 for 2 tonight. Oh, 1 pitch. Right side coming over second baseman, and Cox is there.
In my opinion, that's one of the toughest plays in baseball is for the second baseman to have to go behind and cut behind the first base side. Seems to be an easier play for shortstops going the direction of third. I don't know why that is, but it's tough to find second baseman that can make that play.
And here is Matt Wendelken. Wendelken, a walk his last time up, and a fly ball to center field the time before. Fouls that one back. Strike 1. Wendelken moved into shortstop when Duke came in to pitch. Had been out and left. Here's the 0-1, and off-speed pitch misses. Kimball falling behind 2-1. Evens it up at 2-2. 1 out, bases empty. 11-3 the score. Kimball on in relief. Got him on the outside corner.
That was a nice pitch.
Woo!
Fastball just froze the hitter. Kimball is truly an over-the-top type pitcher. I mean, he bends his head over the side. Here you see.
Wow.
He was just stiff. I think he was expecting something different.
Second strikeout from Kimball. Here is Dan Falcon, and that's inside. Falcon, the third baseman, robbed on a nice play by Pashout in right field, then walked, came around to score on a wild pitch back in the 4th. 1-0. This one hit in the gap to left center.
Nobody
back and back and back. Yes, sirree. Touch them all.
Near the 375 mark. Took a high fastball.
Dan
out of the
Falcon.
park.
Fourth home run of the year.
Notice how the team couldn't surround home plate there. Before anybody touches the hitter, he has to hit the plate. You see that high fastball right near the 375 mark? Out of here.
Didn't know if it would carry, but it carried just over the sign. 5th home run of the season. Watch this.
Here it is. Up in the strike zone.
Rounded first base.
First base.
Wow!
I missed it. Came back to get it.
And then he could do the trot.
Yeah.
But right there, oh boy, it's a good thing that.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah. It's a good thing the first base coach Gary Barrera was on the ball. And here's another one. in left over the head of Cooper, and a stand-up double.
Left fielder had a nice jump on the ball, but lost his footing in the slick turf and couldn't get to one over his head.
Mark Cooper, we haven't called his name much because he's the fellow who's being DH'd for.
I think he considers himself the good luck insertion into that lineup in left field.
Well, he's got Gary Camp in there in left field now for Cooper. Gary Camp, number 35, a senior. Phil Bodine talking to his next hitter. Kofoid, the catcher, who is 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. 2 outs, another run in, 11-4. Chris Kimball with a runner on second base. Kofoid takes it on the inside corner, strike 1.
Kimball doesn't seem to work with a breaking ball very much, but that's pretty common for over-the-top pitchers. Oftentimes it's difficult for them to have a good breaking curveball. Very few people that come strictly over the top do. But he does need to use a changeup a little more often.
Think about how few pitchers today really come straight overhand.
I think the last pitcher that I would consider in the pros that had that type of delivery,
foul back,
and had a good curveball would be Dwight Gooden.
Yeah, but even Gooden has dropped down.
Right, yeah. He has. But early in his career, when he was at his best, that's what made his curveball. That's what made him such a great pitcher, because he had, I mean, he threw so hard over the top, and then when he threw that curveball, he froze you.
Sandy Koufax, of course, a classic example.
Right.
Coming right at you at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And he got him upstairs. Look out, he's gone. But a run, a couple of hits, 1 left. So we go to the 6th. Remember, we're supposed to play 7. Mendota creeping back, but they still have a way to go. That's where we are in Springfield, Lanphier Park, the perennial site of the State Class A baseball finals. I'm Mike Lederman along with Bill Zeman, our Sports Channel crew, and we are now in the 6th inning. Remember, we're playing 7. And here is the catcher for Dupo, Nate Dollins. And Dollins hits this one up high to right center. Coming across is Phelan, but in front of him, Swope makes the play.
Ball seems to be carrying very well tonight.
It's dried out some.
Yes.
You feel it's getting cooler. If you're just joining us again, and we don't mean to belabor the point, but the spring rains just wreaked havoc with this tournament. As you look at Rich King, the coach of Dupo, teams had to play double headers just to get into the state tournament. Then they come down at state, and they played the quarterfinals yesterday and had rain all day today. Played one semifinal in the mid-afternoon, followed by the second that involved Mendota. So Mendota literally had to turn around as soon as it finished its semifinal win. As you look at Herderhorst, the third baseman for Dupo, come in and play the final.
Well, you look at Mendota's situation. Sectional play was supposed to begin a week ago today, and then they had to play a doubleheader this past Wednesday to catch up, and then another doubleheader today here on Saturday. Pretty tough.
The kids are tired. They know.
Yes.
They even admitted it to us.
And you know, with all the other things going on, the distractions, graduations, and all these other things happening at this time of year.
Prom.
That's right, prom.
Herderhorst fouls it off. 1-2. The young third baseman, a walk his last time. Foul pop to third and safe on an error. So he is 0 for 2 officially with a run batted in. Eric Duke on the mound since the first inning, and he gets him.
Duke's settled down and done a pretty nice job after, you know, a couple shaky innings. Has really controlled the game the last 3. Here you see a fastball, and it wasn't even close. It was high and outside. See, the ball was by him before the bat came through.
5th strikeout for Duke now, who's retired 9 in a row. Here's Denny Pasha, who's had himself a fine day, both sides of the ball. Fouls this one back behind the plate and out of play. Pasha, only a junior, Singled in the first, came around to score, singled in the second, then robbed. Nice play out in left field by Jesse Argis.
Pasha has really had some quality at bats tonight.
And we've seen some pretty good defense. We've seen some. There's a look at Argis, who came on to play left field. Made an outstanding play going to his left. Diving for the ball, and this one gets away. Look out.
Curveball, it got away.
Eleven to 4, Dupo, and that one's inside. 3-1. Check it, 2-1. Duke working quickly. Faber, whoa! And Brian Faber took his eye off that one.
That's a situation where an infielder needs to charge the ball. You let the ball bounce too many times, and what happens, here you go, you see that hop right there generally is the one that gives you the most trouble. It's almost like a super ball hop, and that's why we like to see our infielders get the ball right off the grass. Come and be aggressive at it. Is that a little bit of rain I see falling here?
Error number 3.
Oh, a little light drizzle.
Maybe. And here is Camp, who came
up in the light
for his first at-bat. Gary Camp, 189 batter for the regular season. Five 5'10" senior. 2 away, runner on first, 11 to 4. We're in the top of the 6th inning, and the rain is starting up again.
Another thing Dupo has going forward for a school in the Class A size, he has 3 left-handed pinch hitters he can bring in at key spots, and boy, that's a luxury anymore, left-handed hitting.
Yeah, I think the bench got him 4 pinch hits in this tournament. Going into that, that is really an outstanding production.
Yes, it is, and that's a part of the game that people don't realize the importance of, that you can have somebody that you can bring in key situations and make contact, if nothing else, put the ball in play.
Over to first, diving back is Pasha. Rio pitch, and Camp gets a walk. You don't want to walk a 189 hitter.
No.
Well, or anybody else for that matter, but especially someone who is struggling at the plate. And here is Chisholm. We talked about a hitter who's struggling at the plate, coming in at a $174, and he's got 3 doubles in his last few at bats. He's got one tonight. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. Justin Chisholm, as they go back to second base. Wendelken late with the tag.
As a coach, with most everything else being equal, the 2 things that you hate to see most are errors and walks, and it's the 2 things that just help you self-destruct.
And they call the ball. Runners moved up.
See what we got here. That's interesting. I didn't see anything there.
May not have come set. Second balk in this game, one on each team now. So Chisholm has 2 runners in scoring position. Team trails by 7, and that one is outside. Duke hasn't pitched in the tournament, but he's into his 5th inning of work, and he may well be. Actually, he's into his 6th inning of work. Came on with 2 out in the first, and that one's up high, so he may be running out of gas.
We haven't worked in a while. That's true. I mean, you can only go so long without having some innings behind you. And
of course, in high school, you can re-enter. In other words, you can come out of the game and then come back in.
That's correct.
They just might switch and put Wendelken back in a pitch, and he walks Chisholm. So with 2 outs, the error, and a couple of walks, And that spelled disaster in the first inning with 2 out for Mendota. And here's Josh DeJarnette.
I know
Triple, a strikeout, a ground out, and a walk.
Coach Bodine has to be concerned here because you have bases loaded. You've got the leadoff hitter coming up. Back to the top of the lineup. This would probably be, what, about the 3rd time that they've seen
That will be the 4th time they've seen Duke.
The 4th time against Duke? Okay.
He came on in the first inning. So there's Bodine, and he leaves. Duke will stay, and DeJarnette will be looking at a bases-loaded situation, and again, maybe putting the 10-run rule in effect if he catches one here.
You hate to see innings where you get 2 outs, get the first 2 guys out, and then all this happens to you.
Well, that first inning was really messy. A ground out, a single, a strikeout, and then a walk, 2 errors, a single, and 3 straight walks. What a mess. 6 runs.
It was a good breaking ball.
Duke is a tremendous athlete. He set a state record in this tournament, 7 straight hits. He set a state record in basketball with 10 3-pointers. That was in the tournament. And there's a wild pitch. We're going to get a run score here.
Looked like Duke tried to overload on that one a little bit, and the mechanics went a little haywire. And oftentimes when you try to throw the ball hard, your arm gets ahead of your body, and there's the result, low and away.
We're just saying about Duke, he plays defensive back in football, so he's a 3-sport athlete, and here he just fires this one about 57-9.
Let the water splash on the catcher, too.
Now, they didn't change any ground rules. That ball's live when it goes back into
the mark.
Lake Lanphier over there. And this one's in the gap. Coming over and making the catch nicely is Terry Swope. And Swope has made another outstanding play.
He actually overran that ball.
Slid back and got it.
Here leaves the bat. He overruns it and actually has to reach back to make the catch. Nice play.
So there was a run, no hits. There was an error. They left 2. So 12-4 the score. Dupo leading. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Back in Springfield, the broadcast rights to tonight's game have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast of this event without the written consent of the IHSA and Sports Channel strictly prohibited. Well, it's muck and mire for hire. Tough night to play ball, but it seems that's what we've been saying at any level all spring. And the ground ball through as Brian Faber gets his first hit.
That's a powerful hit right there. That ball got through the infield very quick.
Yeah, and the infield grass is high. It's soggy. It takes a lot to punch it through tonight.
Oftentimes you talk in terms of power. People think of power as the ball that goes out of the park, but oftentimes power is also how fast the ball gets through the infield. And both of these teams definitely have that ability.
Here is Duke, who offensively just hasn't been able to get anything going tonight. 2 fly balls to center field and a foul pop to the catcher. Off-speed pitch, and he had him. No advance by the runner. Duke, as we told you, an outstanding 3-sport athlete. He is the leading hitter on this team. 440 during the regular season. 14 doubles, a triple, 2 homers. And there he took one for the club.
Breaking ball that didn't break.
Well, don't go away, folks. You know, it's an 8-run ball game, but Mendota's a big hitting team. And they've got 2 runners on and nobody out in the heart of their order coming up with Johnson, Swope, and Phelan. Johnson, 2 walks and a base hit.
There's a pitch high and inside. Again, a curveball that just didn't get the bite on it that he needed.
Herder Horst shortened up at 3rd. Now we just find that Eric Duke has been named the MVP of the tournament. Told you, 7 for 7. 7 straight hits, a new state record in the quarterfinal and the semifinal.
He's over there rubbing his arm a little bit.
2-0 to Johnson. Good pitch right in there. 2-1. Chris Kimball came on in the 4th in relief of Mark Burlew. There is Duke leading off first. Both runners bluff. They don't go. 3-1. 3-1 the count. On deck is Swope. 3-1, and they go back to second, and they saw some daylight, and they get him. Faber picked off.
Those are the type of plays that just break your back. I'm not so sure he got back. You see.
Oh, he reached with the left, but yeah, he got him with the right.
Yes.
Bill Bodine comes out, has a word, but Faber, close call. Talking to Brad Stearns, the umpire, but not much fire there, and Bill knows he's going to lose this one. Goes back to the coach's box at third base. Well, that'll kill you at every level. So instead of 2 on and nobody out, it's 1 on and on first and 1 out. Here's the pitch.
And see, there you go. Then you get the walk. This would load up the bases with nobody out.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
That's right.
They still have a threat here with Swope up. Swope, 389 regular season, 2 doubles, 3 triples, a home run. Kimball. Again, struggling. Swope 2 for 3 to a force play to end a rally in the 4th. Again, it's up high.
Kimball appears to be rushing right now, and oftentimes as you get tired, you don't get the leg up as high, and then you try to put a little extra on it, and the ball stays consistently high.
2-0 pitch. That's a good pitch. Well, every time he's been in trouble, he's gone outside a little bit up, and he's gotten that call from Jack Hull. But not that high. 3-1. Runners on first and second. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 12-4. Dupo leading Mendota at bat. Full count. You run him here down 8. No way, right?
No, sir.
Not a chance.
1 run means nothing. You need a bunch.
3-2 pitch. Runners stay, and the bases are loaded. Well, only that pickoff has prevented Dupo from having a complete meltdown here. Cox is going to come in and talk to Kimball from second base. And here is Jason Phelan, who was looking for his first hit tonight. Hit into a double play, lining to right field in the 1st. Fly to right, pop to second. 1 out, bases loaded, and this one's going to bring in at least 1. Left field, they'll go 1 base at a time. Quickly fielded by Gary Camp. Duke scores, and it's 12-5.
Here's a sharply hit ball between short and third. Coach Bodine's doing the right thing here, holding the runner at third. I suppose you could have, chance to play at the plate, but you get in a position where you need a bunch of runs, not just 1, and I'm sure that's what he's thinking.
Rich King is coming out. Looks like they're going to make a change. Send Kimball back to first. Now Chisholm, who had won and gone the distance in the semifinal earlier today, they talk about him having a rubber arm, and I believe they're going to bring him in.
They might.
There's a good look at Kimball, who did a nice job until his control deserted him. And there's Josh DeJarnette, the shortstop.
Bill Bodine and his Mendota club looking on. And it's Chisholm, all right. Chisholm, who had 2 doubles and a complete game victory in the semifinal against Normal University High. In that game, Chisholm, 7 innings, 9 hits, only 1 earned run, gave up 3 total, walked only 2, struck out 3. Justin Chisholm coming on here in a tough spot, believe it or not, in a 7-run ball game. He's got to get 4 outs. Well, don't forget, here on Sports Channel, we'll be bringing you the AA Championship, and that'll come by on Sunday, June 9th at 4 o'clock. Be sure to join us. Mike McDonald and I will be with you from Elstrom Stadium as we move north for the AA's next Sunday exclusively on Sports Channel. Chisholm, regular season 5-2, 4.65 earned run average, 50 strikeouts, 33 bases on balls, 68 hits, and 58 plus innings. So 1 run is in. Bases are loaded. There is 1 away. Matt Wendelken, the batter. And this one goes to left and deep. Way back. It is a grand slam for Matt Wendelken. Holy! First pitch. Matt Wendelken, boom, boom, boom.
That changes the total complexion with 1 swing of the bat. Grand slam.
Matt Wendelken started. Started at left field, came in at shortstop.
Here you see the pitch inside half of the plate, and he turned on it. That's the 2nd pitch we've seen today go over the scoreboard.
Well, the third base side, right off the top of the big board right there. And the third base side where the Mendota Trojan fans and parents are sitting, they are up on their feet and they are alive. See, Mendota's actually out-hit Dupo. Chisholm misses with that pitch against Dan Falcon. Falcon had a big home run last time up.
Chisholm right now has to think about going right at him. He's still got the 3-run
And this
lead.
one is rocked to left, but plenty of room. Shallow, and Camp makes that play.
Biggest mistake a pitcher can make is get tentative after a home run. You don't throw the ball to your spots. Oftentimes you don't throw the ball with the same authority.
Let's take a look at Wendelken as he hit this one. It's going, it's going, it's going. It is gone. Oh!
There's a boy that's pumped.
Not a problem touching first base there.
No.
Here's Doyle. And this one is to center field, moving in and can't get it.
This is to a deep part of the park. This could be a triple. There will be no play at third.
Verlew in center field now. And that one hit directly over his head, and Verlew had no chance.
That was a well-hit ball. Here you see a pitch, low and away, pretty good pitch. Pulled the ball to the right side, over the head of the center fielder. Well-hit ball.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier about how well the ball is carrying, and I think, again, right there you saw it.
Yeah, as it's dried out a little, the ball started to hop on it. Of course, the aluminum bats gave it that little extra bounce,
yes,
too.
It does.
12-9, 5 runs in this inning from Mendota, and here's Kofod, the catcher. He struck out his last 2 at-bats, once swinging, once looking. And he is the 9th man to come up in this inning. 12-9.